us for the most part, as in they typically mate for life and they'll stick with their kids for a while. So Mel and Manju have been together for the better part of around 20 years now, and throughout their lives they've had about 5 kids, Melina being their most recent. So Gibbon young stay with their parents till they're around 5 years old, and then they'll naturally start to kind of get pushed away and become more independent as they will go off and then find their mate for life, which is pretty cool. So Melly's 29 years old, Manju is 24, and Melina is 2 years old, so she still has a few more years until she would be in this situation, probably going to a different facility to find a mate there. So more about the Gibbon species in general. So they are a lesser ape, so they are very closely related to us as we are great apes. So there's like 1 degree of separation there. They do look very similar to monkeys. Many people will call them monkeys and get them mixed up. The biggest way to tell a monkey and an ape apart is that apes lack tails. So that is the biggest characteristic there. And gibbons are an arboreal species, meaning that they live in the trees. So their bodies over millions of years of evolution have created this species to be super efficient at climbing and swinging through the trees. So some stuff that helps out with that is their super long arms with their super small torsos and legs, so they can get pretty aerodynamic and very efficient and conserve a lot of energy. They swing around so quickly. Their type of movement is called brachiation, and that is when they jump between the trees and swing across vines and stuff like that. So they'll fly through the air and they'll drop like great distances and land on vines and stuff, and they'll keep their momentum and they can swing pretty fast. If you compare them to the orangutans like beside us, orangutans are a lot more cautious and they'll always maintain points of contact when they're climbing around, and they climb a lot slower. Whereas these guys will drop and jump and fly through the air, which is pretty cool. You can see Melina there, so you can get a good look at their bodies there. They have these super long arms with pretty small torsos, and they're pretty light. So yeah, they're very aerodynamic and very efficient climbers. It's just really cool to watch them just like swing around and stuff like that. Another interesting thing is that they're one of the only primates that are fully bipedal. So orangutans, for example, they'll use their hands to support them as they walk on the ground and stuff, but gibbons are the only other primates besides us who will just walk on their 2 legs without their hands to support. But since they do have really long arms, it's pretty funny how they do it. Like they'll kind of hold their arms up in the air and swing around, which is pretty funny to see. So a typical gibbon day consists of just swinging around the tree canopy and foraging for food. So these guys are pretty food motivated, and they are primarily herbivores. So here at the zoo, our nutrition team curates a very specific diet for them that mimics their wild diets to the best of their abilities. So like the fruits and stuff they get here are a lot more rich compared to what they'd find out in the wild. Their wild fruits would look more like vegetables to us, so they're not rich. So they get a little bit of fruit here, but they mostly get greens and vegetables. So when you think about what they got today, so they got like pear, they got mango, they got honeydew, and then for vegetables, they had like celery, green beans, spinach, lettuce, and a bunch of other random stuff. So they get a big variety of different fruits and vegetables every day, but it's all kind of typically in the same vein. And from time to time, we'll give them like crickets and mealworms, so they do like to snack on insects and stuff. But that's not a main part of their diet. It's just a fun little bonus thing to get, and they work really hard for that kind of stuff. So it's good to use it for different types of enrichment. So speaking of enrichment, is typically different devices for them to forage food out of. So, for example, today they got this big jug with some holes in it, so they'd have to carry it around and try to stick their hands through it and try to pull out different food items, stuff like that. So it used to be similar to in the wild, it's like having to rip through different fruit or the husks of different foods and stuff to pull out the stuff inside. So it's a good way to mimic that kind of behavior. And enrichment is very important for all the animals here at the zoo. It helps engage those natural behaviors, which helps keep them mentally stimulated and therefore a lot more happy in activity. So we change up the enrichment every single day. We always keep it fresh for them. We'll do a lot of different food stuff. We'll change up their perching and their different climbing structures. We'll do some other non-food related things like we'll give them scents and stuff like that. There's some tactile things, so we're always keeping it fresh for them. It's really engaging to them, and they have a really good time another thing we work on with our Gibbons here is training. So these guys are pretty new towards you. They arrived around last November. So they hadn't been here for very long. They lived a lot of their lives in Assiniboine, which is in Manitoba. So they've been here for a little bit, and we don't have a lot of training behaviors worked on with them. So they're pretty new to a lot of that. And with Gibbons and other primates and stuff who are more intelligent than most other animals on average, training can be both easier and more difficult, as in they're more wary of these things, and they have a lot more, how would I say it? Like they understand a lot better, so they know like the trade-off and stuff for training and the rewards they're going to get. So it's all voluntary training. So if they don't want to participate, they're just not going to, and they're going to give us a little bit of a harder time, and that's no problem. That's just something that we're going to keep working towards to see if they want to do it. So, for example, one of the training behaviors we've been trying to work on with these guys is scale training. So, like something even as simple as like a shiny metal scale that we'll use to weigh them could be, it's a new thing for them, so it's like quite scary and they can be quite cautious of it, so we have to work a lot on getting them comfortable just to be near the scale, stepping on it, putting all the weight down on it and stuff like that. So it's a slow process of just desensitizing them to different items like that. So Nell and Manju, who are obviously a lot older than Melina, are pretty good with it, so we've been able to get voluntary weights on them, and they're all pretty good with that, stepping on the scale and everything. But Melina, since she is young and she's naturally just more cautious with different new experiences, she hasn't actually gotten a weight yet because she won't actually step on our scale. If you look over to the back side of the exhibit, there's like those 3 platforms there, and that gray one. So that's where we put the scale, and we stand on the other side, and then we have them stand over there. We feed them treats and stuff, and then once they're still and like kind of on the scale, we can keep their weight down.
That's
so
the skill.
Melina is like very wary of it. We'll put food down on it and stuff, but she'll just kind of hang up beside it and like reach her arm out and like take stuff off the scale, or like try to get through the mesh, like just hanging beside the scale. So like she's there, but she's just like still hasn't gotten through her head that like there's nothing wrong with this piece of metal that's sitting on her getting a weight. So that's something we've been working really hard to break through, and we've made pretty good progress. So we're hoping we can get a weight on her this week probably. So we're going to keep trying that, which is really exciting. And all the training stuff is all basically for like physical checkups and being able to get good reads on their current health condition and stuff like that. So we don't really do any training or teaching the behaviors that's just like for fun or anything, unless it's like for enrichment purposes. Like we'll do that with our orangutans since they're so smart and have fun. We do like training games with them, and it helps keep them mentally stimulated. But for the most part, all the other animals, all their training behaviors are medical related. So weights and stuff like that, or just even a station training where we can get them separated from like from each other, and we can just get a good physical checkup on them and see everything. Another thing we do with our Gibbons, we've done them with our past Gibbons. These guys we haven't gotten around to yet, but we call it a blood sleeve, and it's like a cutout in the mesh that sticks out, and it's like the shape of their arm, so they can stick their arm through, and then that way we can have one of our vet techs take blood from them or give them injections and stuff like that. So that's another training behavior that we work on with you guys in the future. But yeah, for now we're just sticking to more simple stuff since they are pretty new to our facility here. Does anyone have any questions about our Gibbons that can do my best to answer anything?
So you mentioned Mel, Manju, and Melina. Yeah. Do they respond to their names?
Yeah, so the question was, do they respond to their names? Yeah, so they know who they are individually, and we are able to get their attention. They're just so like, they have like pretty low attention spans, so they're pretty high energy, so it's hard to like get them to sit still and stuff like that, and like separate them that way. But yeah, they do know their names, and we can call them over and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that kind of ties into like the station training as well, just trying to keep them still and separated. We are trying to get them to we'll use like different colors. Like we'll put colors in the neck. We're trying to get them to like correlate the colors to themselves. So they like maybe knows to go to the green one and stuff like that. Yeah. So they do know their names. Yeah.
And I may have missed it. So they are apes, right?
Yes. Yes.
They're not great apes.
No, they're lesser apes. Yeah.
They're lesser apes.
Lesser apes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Bring the planet to all this up. Yeah, so the plan is they're going to do a whole reconstruction of that exhibit.
He's the instructor today, telling us about them.
Stuff like that. But they're going to expand it, so it's going to get bigger. This one is probably going to be another item. Yeah. Until it's done, they'll have the outside stuff. So that's what they're going to do. So we're going to start doing this one. Yeah. Yes. So then they'll try to finish it before we it'll, like, I think the idea is it's supposed to be done right experience anger, as well as stuff like that. Depression. So depression, no, they're pretty good. We work with them every day to keep them mentally stimulated. So they're in very good mental health and stuff like that, which is great. So anger, they will experience frustration pretty often. And that's just like their temperaments, right? So they're in a family dynamic, they're going to bicker with each other, and that's completely natural. For example, Manju is the most dominant of the family, so she's the first to food, and she can be quite demanding of us when we're training with them, or she's waiting for us to give her food. So she will like bare her teeth at us in certain situations, stuff like that. It's just completely natural as they are wild animals, and like their instincts are tailored towards like survival and getting their food first and stuff like that. So they can be pretty assertive over food in certain situations. But yeah, it's a completely natural thing, and it's something that like their family works out, and it's something that they would also do wild.
So are they kind of aggressive in the wild, or they're shy after that?
No, they're pretty shy in the wild. They're very small. Obviously, they do have predators and stuff like that. So they will typically stay away from animals and people and stuff like that. They use these really loud like calls. So they make this like loud high-pitched whooping call. You guys have probably heard it. They do it all the time, and that's basically like a territory thing. So that's letting like other gibbons know that that's where they are, and just to stay out of their home range and stuff like that, because they could fight and stuff like that. But
They live in the canopy most of the time.
yeah, yeah. So they're super high.
Are these guys a threat to them in, let's say, Indonesia? These are Sumatra.
Yeah, so they'll live together.
They live together.
Yeah, so orangutans and like these white-handed gibbons, they do cohabit in the island of Sumatra. So they will live together. They don't typically like interact in the wild; they'll just kind of stay near each other. But in other zoos and facilities, they do actually have like exhibits where the orangutans have the gibbons, so they can cohabit and they get along and stuff, which is really cool. We don't have like facilities for that here, unfortunately, though it would be great also to see. But yeah, they do coexist. They don't really bother each other, just the same wild ones. No, I know. It's not super loud. I know, it's not super loud. Have that other... It's making a pose.
Well, there's a big...
Yeah, this one's not very loud, but it's better than some of the other ones. No wonder there's not
Yeah, we'll give them like meal forks. Yes, yeah, they are endangered. Like their biggest like threat is just like habitat loss. So in Indonesia and a lot of Southeast Asia, they do like the
Now,
So that's a weighing scale.
Yeah, that's the weighing. There, he's sitting on the weighing scale right now.
Okay.
So they give them some
Food.
they give them some food. That's when they weigh them over there. And they're saying that Melina, or whatever, I forget her name, the little one
Yeah.
is very wary of that, and you still can't weigh her because she
Won't go there.
won't go. So the three names are, the guy is Mel, and the wife is Manju, and the girl is Melina. See, waiting there. Those zookeepers are there. They're
Yeah.
waiting for their food over there.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. Oh,
Oh.
Hi, Mel.
that's Mel, right? That's
Look at all the turtles.
Oh, yeah. She's scared of it. Manju.
That one's like dancing. Like I was watching a video and I was like, where's my
The zoo staff is there trying to feed them, giving them something to eat.
See you around. Have a great day. See ya.
those guys are still there.
Yeah.
To feed them.
Yeah.
So they're trying to take their weight basically. So they give them treats, and then when they are stable on that little table over there, then they take their weight. That's this. So now they're giving them some kind of palm leaves. Remember, they thrive on the palm oil plantation.
Yeah.
Oops. Look at that. See, they're perhaps taking their weight, giving them treats.
The zoo staff there giving them palm leaves and check their weight.
So the zookeepers are desperately trying to take their weight. Here's one sitting.
Yeah.
The zookeeper is trying to feed it so that it keeps sitting on that table
Yeah.
so that they can take their weight. But it's very difficult because sometimes they are hanging, sometimes they are prancing, dancing.
Yeah.
So they have to wait for the right moment to take their weight. And the little one is the most frisky of them all.
It refuses to sit on the
Yeah.
weighing scale.
It is easy with Mel and Manju. Manju, as they say. And these monkeys, they're white-handed gibbons, are critically endangered species. Oh, look at that.
These are enough.
Hey, there it is. Look at this little one. See, they have palm leaves.
There's an orangutan right on top.
There.
Right on top.
Okay.
Yeah. So there.
Oh, so he got the palm leaf too.
Yeah. So they like to see each other, but it's difficult to have them together.
They cohabitat and they have the same food habits, right?
Yeah.
I can see that orangutan right in the tunnels.
Yeah.
So they are separated, but in the wild they can cohabit, like they can live together. I think they are.
Orangutan is happy with the
Palm leaf.
palm leaf, and now it's not interested in the gibbon out there.
Maybe
Or the zoo stuff.
the orangutan was smart enough to come to this side because the orangutan figured that the gibbons will be fed palm leaves,
Yeah.
so it came for a handout, quick handout.
No, I'm gonna go there soon. I'm gonna go there. Maybe tomorrow. Gibbon?
We have a couple of zoo stuff out there.
So sorry.
So
You have to
it's
give
my-
me a. Now that you
Look
mentioned
at that. He's taken the palm leaf away from the gibbon.